Hello and welcome to May's Crochet. I am Rachel, and in today's video I think I'm just gonna make myself mad. That's the only outcome I foresee here, but let's get into it. So last year I made this bag with the red heart all-in-one granny square skeins that were really popular about a year ago. I think they officially launched at the end of 23, but then I started seeing all the videos very early 24 reviewing them. And I felt like I was gonna hate it. I had that feeling like, no, this is not gonna be for me. I'm not gonna like it. And so I refused to partake. I didn't order any. And then I saw them at Walmart. And I'm like, okay, I will try one skein, just one. And it went exactly as I expected. It was like playing yarn chicken with every single round. So if you don't know, it was one ball of yarn with the color changes to make a 5-round granny square without having to do the color changes yourself, without having to weave in extra ends, anything like that. So it started with the dark blue and went out to the kind of ivory color. And yeah, it was awful because first of all, their pattern didn't really go with how I typically make granny squares. And I remember I had to start with like a 6mm hook. And then by the time I got to the end, I was down to like a 5mm hook and with the same tension. And I was still having to pull back and change my tension even on the very last square. It was awful. And I'm like, well, that sucked. I'm never ever doing it again. And now I have 15 squares. What am I gonna do with it? I made the 13 square bag with 2 extra squares as pockets, lined it and everything. Really cute. Haven't used it, but that's okay. So again, never ever going to put myself through that ever again until now. Obviously, that's why we're here, because now they've come out with the all-in-one Flower Power granny square. And again, these have been out for several months, but I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna order it. Absolutely not. No, I learned my lesson until I found this one skein at Walmart. So yeah, this is the only one they had too. So I'm like, all right, I'll go ahead and do it. I'll get it. I don't know what, I'm not gonna make another bag. So whatever comes out of this, I have no clue. But that's what we're doing today. We're playing with this and seeing just how angry I can get. My guess is pretty angry, but we'll see. Center pole, at least the center pole is good. And we're supposed to leave 4 inches of a tail, which doesn't feel like a lot. That much. Okay, here we go. Oh, 5.5mm hook too, by the way. I typically do granny squares in 6, but following the rules. Chain 4. Okay. I've got my 9 double crochets and my chain 3 for a total of 10. This is the end of round 1. This is where the color change is supposed to happen within the next stitch. And I have this much left. You know, I should have made this video where it's like, oh, I try this out, but as soon as I run into a problem where the color doesn't change right, I quit. I should have. I didn't. Here we are. All right, I already have to pull back and fix this because it's not gonna look right. How many tries will it take before I get the color change where it needs to be? 1, 2, 3, 4. Place your bets. I still have this much on attempt 2. 3, attempt number 3. There, got it. Perfect. On my 3rd try, color 2 begins, chain 3. Okay, so now making the petals. I may have messed up somewhere, but we're gonna roll with it. I think we are gonna have too much. In fact, I know we're gonna have too much because I am at the end now. Ugh. So clearly I need to make these petals significantly looser. Well, I'm going to take this apart and try again. And I think I have a kid to pick up at some point, so I'll be back. 2nd attempt to get the green where it's supposed to be, and I'm closer, but not there yet. I still have to loosen up my tension even more. Really regret not using a 6 at this point. So it's been a couple of days since I picked this up, and it didn't take me this long to figure it out. I just haven't messed with it. Anyway, after a lot of trial and error, I finally got it to work with a 5.5. I did switch to a 6 and try that for a little while, and it still wasn't it. I just didn't expect to have such loose tension with a 5.5. I already think I have pretty loose tension to begin with, and this feels even looser than I'm used to, but I got there. Maybe if I just keep that in mind, we can move forward. Anyway, I'm going to finish up this square and come back with some thoughts, or not, or just do all the squares and come back with something cute, and then some thoughts. I don't know, I haven't decided, but I got it to work. That's all that matters. And now it's just blue. So I don't have to worry about tension at this point because there's like a 2-foot long tail you're supposed to leave at the end, which I'm not going to do because I'm going to join all the squares with a different color, probably white. Anyway, we're not there yet. We have to get through one square first. I'll be back. Got it done. It was not as awful as the all-in-one granny square from last year because, again, I'm pretty sure there's only 3 color changes. And the first one, it's not so bad to pull back and try to fix it. The last one, you've got plenty of extra yarn to not worry about running out. And so really it's just this middle one, making sure that middle color, the actual petals, get done. But knowing me and my inability to be consistent with tension, I'm pretty sure that's going to be what holds me up. But I'm going to keep going. I'm going to finish the skein, try to make something out of it. So far the pattern is meh. I don't really care for it. There's one point where it says to slip stitch and then to slip stitch into the next stitch to go up to the rounds, and I don't think that's supposed to be there, so I had to ignore that. And then I believe their asterisks, just from reading other patterns, I don't like the way their asterisks are placed. It's a little confusing for me, just because I've read patterns where you repeat things with asterisks. They were clear. This one was a little more confusing. For me, that's a personal problem. The tension's also a personal problem, but still better than the 5 color change granny square. I don't like that there's this much yarn left over. It is incredibly wasteful. I understand that they wanted to put that on there to attach the squares, but no, wasteful. I will come back when I have the whole skein done. Now, the packaging says there's 12, but I'm wondering if there's going to be a sneaky extra one in there because the granny squares from last year, I believe said 14, but there were really 15 in each. So maybe they snuck a 13th one in here for us. We'll find out. I'm sure a lot of people already know because they've already used this, but I'm like 6 months behind because I really did not want to do this, but here we are. I will see you back probably in a couple of days after I finish this. I know I'm not going to get them all done in one sitting because that ain't me. We'll see how this turns out. Maybe by the end I'll have a nice consistent tension and it'll just breeze right by. It won't, but you know, wishful thinking. And we have 12 Flower Power granny squares, all done, finished. I did not get the bonus 13th. I got this far into it, which would be round 5. Now, considering how much yarn was left for the very long tail to sew all the squares together in the end, according to the instructions that I'm ignoring, I maybe would have been able to finish this, but I didn't really save any of it because I'm trying not to hoard scraps like that. So those, along with this, is extremely wasteful. Thankfully, though, I don't need the 13th because what I'm doing does not require an odd number. So it's still wasteful and I don't like it, but I don't need it, so I'm not mad about it. But I am not finished because I was on Walmart's website and I saw where they had more. Now, I did find this skein in the yarn section, just one, no end cap. I looked all around. Sometimes they put yarn in the office supplies too. I don't understand why. They're right next to each other, but it does not make sense. However, Walmart said that they had multiple different colors and multiple different skeins, and so I was very confused. You can imagine. And I went back to the store and I looked and I looked and I finally pulled up the map to show me this magical aisle of invisible Flower Power skeins. Well, I had to go further down the store to Home Decor, next to Auto Parts, far from the craft section, same part of the store, same like major aisle section, past office supplies and electronics, across from the toys. Make it make sense, please. Anyway, they had quite a few more color options. Not all of them. There's quite a few more online. But I picked up the Forget-Me-Not. This is okay. This Clover, Come On Clover was, but again, this was the only one I saw that day. I like this one better, and I got 2 skeins of it, so I'm going to make up these 2 skeins, and then I'm going to make these 2 things into projects. Probably separate projects because I don't think these 2 would really work well together, so I'm not going to do it. Bluebell would have worked really well because it's blue, 2 shades of blue and a yellow, so I think that would have gone well with this, but I didn't think about that. I got 2 of these though, so I'm going to make something cute out of each of them separately, I hope. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, and then I will come back with my final thoughts. So I will see you. Probably what I'm going to say is going to be a few days for me, but like a second for you. So just a weird quick note because I wanted to share, but I was seaming together the Come On Clover squares, and I have my smaller overhead ring light on, and look at these weird circles that are being patterned on the table coming through the squares. Like there's nothing circular on here, but you look under here and you get circles. I'm sorry, this is weird, but I wanted to share because that's so weird. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go now. No, I have not been drinking. Yes, she has. Okay, so I just decided to go with like a little cropped boxy vest. I actually haven't tried this on together. Hopefully it'll look better when arms are in the sleeves. I just pulled it out of the dryer to relax the stitches. But yeah, I think it turned out cute. A lot better than I expected. I really wasn't a huge fan of this color combination in the beginning when I thought it was the only skein they had at Walmart, but I actually really like this now, and I'm really happy I had this slightly darker blue yarn. I think this is a Caron 1 pound to join everything and do the ribbing. I think it looks great. I was gonna use white. I'm very happy I did not do that, and then I had this and it matched really well, or coordinated really well. So unfortunately I did not get the other project completed because I only got halfway through the skeins. This is one of them, and I just never got around to getting this one done. We'll get them done and then make probably a very similar thing to this, only with more squares. I can do it longer, it won't be as cropped, and I can have little sleeves that'll probably go down to here. That is the plan. If you see me wearing it at some point, you'll know I did it. But now it's warmed up quite a bit outside, so I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to actually wear it. Anyway, final thoughts on the Red Heart all-in-one Flower Power Granny Square skeins. First of all, a lot better than the ones that came out last year for just the regular granny squares. Much easier to adjust tension when it was off and the colors didn't match up right when they were supposed to. Significantly easier. I did not have to change my hook this time at all, and significantly, drastically change my tension throughout the project like I did with what I felt like I had to do with those. Definitely better color combination choices than the granny squares from last year. I really did not like a majority of the colorways for the regular granny squares. And I haven't looked to see if anything's changed, but at the time when they came out, I believe all of them had the 5th largest round on the outside, either in black, white, or Aran, which is that ivory color that my bag was in. And I understand that was to prompt crocheters to grab a solid skein of one of those to connect them and things like that. But the fact that every single one had one of those 3 colors as a major part of it, I did not like, and it just threw off the whole color combination choices for me. However, with these, I have absolutely noticed that there are significant variations in the center color, the middle color, and the outside color, which I like. I like variety. I can't help it. And lastly, cost and accessibility. Because it is an acrylic yarn, it is on the cheaper side. At Walmart in store, I paid $7.48 for each skein. Now, Walmart does not have as many options as finding them online. I checked Amazon and they are $9.99. The Yarnspirations website, where you can find Red Heart products, is normally $9.99. However, they do have a very large 40% off sale going on right now, so it's $5.99. Not sponsored, just giving you the information. I don't know how long it's gonna last. And there are a significantly higher number of options. I think Walmart had maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7 different colorways, whereas the Yarnspirations website has 21 different ones in stock right now. So, again, very good price. So you get 12 squares out of an 8.8 ounce ball of yarn. However, you're not going to use probably about 6 ounces of that, because you get this little half lit square, maybe not even half. That is the last one, so that takes up some of the weight, plus, you know, probably like 2 feet after every square. So that'd be what, 24 feet of yarn going to waste, unless you use it to connect, which I did not. Anyway, so those are the pros. The only real con is I just can't see past this being a gimmick, and I really don't know who it's made for. I don't feel like it's great for beginners, because if they're not great at recognizing a change of tension or a consistent tension, then they're going to get frustrated and have trouble getting the colors to line up where they're supposed to. And for seasoned crocheters, especially professionals who make and sell items regularly, I can't imagine it being that big of a draw very often, because they're going to have enough of their own stash or know what to look for, or have very specific types or brands of yarn that they're going to rely on, and they're going to make their own color combinations that they want. They're not going to rely on what is essentially a gimmick. It's a cute gimmick, but I feel like it does have a very short shelf life. I could be wrong. I don't really know. They're still selling the all-in-one granny square ones, and those were even harder to use, so somebody out there really likes them. But I do find it very limiting because of the options. Even though there are 21, it's still limiting. And you could absolutely probably make far more granny squares out of 3 different skeins of yarn in different colors of your own choosing than you could get out of 12 of one of these, considering the waste. And in the end, I don't think that adjusting the tension and pulling back to make the colors fit, even when you have a rhythm going, sometimes it still happens. I just don't believe that weaving in 2 more ends would be that much bigger of a deal. So yes, I did go back and buy another colorway and I'll make something cute out of it, but I think I'm done. I don't see the need to do this again. I mean, if you love it, great. If you make and sell things and this makes your life easier, awesome. Very happy for you. But at the end of the day, for me, it's still just a gimmick. And now my curiosity is satisfied and I don't need to put myself through that again. So I'll definitely admit that I was wrong and I did not get as mad with this gimmick as I did with last year's gimmick of the regular granny square yarn. And I'm getting 2 cute tops out of it that I will hopefully wear instead of that one bag that I never carry around because I never change my bags out. Anyway, doesn't matter. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!